Welcome back to So Much and More to Say. My name is Nefemi, and I'm happy that you guys are here to listen. First things first, I want to wish you all a very happy new year. It's 2024. Second of all, for those who are watching this podcast episode, it does look a bit different from the previous episodes. Basically, I'm in my closet recording this. I think the sound may be better here, and honestly, I wasn't initially planning on making a video this time. I was only planning on posting the audio plus posting the written review / article on my website. But I think we'll see. If I think the video looks decent, I'll post the video. If not, don't worry about it. But if I do post a video, you can tell I'm not in the most of aesthetic locations. It's not that visually pleasing, but we'll manage. To start off the first episode of this year, I wanted to talk about a few TV shows and movies that I watched last year in 2023. I was only planning on doing some mini reviews of a select few. So I think I previously mentioned that I was posting an article / review on my website. So that's what I'm going to be reading off of. I did write what I was going to say before I recorded this, so if you see me reading off my iPad too much, I apologize. But yes. In 2023, there were many productions that I had the pleasure of watching, and though I can't talk about all of them, I decided to do short mini reviews on a select few. So I'll start with a television series that I watched. And first things first, I love a good right under your nose storyline. And with that being said, the first TV show that will be reviewed is Kill It. Kill It was written by Son Hyun-soo and Choi Myung-jin, and it was directed by Nam Song-woo and An Ji-suk. This 2019 South Korean TV series follows Kim Soo-hyun, an assassin, and Do Hyun-jin, a detective investigating a serial murder case. This thriller was quite engrossing, well-paced, and well-written. I like that the character of Kim So-hyun, portrayed by Jang Ki-young, was a bit of a juxtaposition. Despite having a cold and pretty scary demeanor, his actions seem to show a lot more compassion than one would think possible for somebody of his occupation, which honestly just emphasized all the more the horror and immorality of his profession. I also absolutely loved the female lead, Do Hyun-jin, portrayed by Nana, as she stood by her morals throughout the show, and I love to see that. I like that throughout the series, characters made believable decisions according to their characterizations, which led to an interesting yet believable ending. Although I still had some questions by the end of the show, I think it wrapped up pretty well, and I found this thriller fun to watch. The next series is Into the Ring. This absolutely fun, hilarious, and lighthearted comedy was written by Moon Hyung-kung, and it was directed by Hwang Seung-ki. And it follows Gu Se-ra, an infamous complainer, as she runs for political office. The two main leads, Gu Se-ra, portrayed by Nana, and Seo Gong-moon, portrayed by Park Sung-eun, had amazing chemistry with each other, which made their scenes a pleasure to watch. I think Nana did such an amazing job at leading the series in her fantastic portrayal of Se-ra, who was a fun, engaging, and well-rounded character, albeit annoyingly naive at times. I loved how the quirky tone of the show was matched with the camera shots and the soundtrack. Moving on, have you guys ever watched a show and found yourself unsure as to what the tone of it should be? On one hand, you think it's upbeat and it's sweet, but then on the other hand, a sense of eeriness kind of creeps in. That's what I experienced when I was watching the first 4 episodes of You're My Spring. You're My Spring was written by Lee Min-ah and directed by Jung Ji-hyun, and it follows Kang Dae-jung, a hotel concierge, and Ju Young-do, a psychiatrist, as they fall in love amidst a murder investigation. Although the show opens in a very eerie way, the tone gradually becomes lighter as Dae-jung, portrayed by So Hyun-jin, and Young-do, portrayed by Kim Dong-wook, grow to learn more and more about each other. There is much more to the show in terms of its subplots and themes, one of which is notably healing, that work together to make it a very sweet production. And I also want to commend the set design and cinematography of the show. It was very visually appealing. Now I'm going to talk about the movies, some movies that I watched. And honestly, I was actually surprised to go on Letterboxd and find that Fractured was being dragged through the mud. Fractured, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really great. Fractured was written by Alan B. McElroy and it was directed by Brad Anderson. And the 2019 thriller mystery follows a man who desperately searches for his wife and daughter after they go missing in a hospital. Despite its predictability, I thoroughly did enjoy watching it, and I found that it was still quite intriguing. It was fun to watch the mystery unfold and also to put two and two together. Moving on to another film that I was also surprised to find being dragged through the mud. Well, not entirely dragged through the mud, but it had lower than expected ratings on Letterboxd. The movie is Hard Hit, which was directed by Kim Chang-joo and based on Retribution by Alberto Marini. And it follows a father and his two kids as they are held hostage in a car by a strange man over the phone who claims he put a bomb in it. I thought Hard Hit was very captivating and engaging to watch. I especially loved the scenes where the camera was seemingly confined to the car, and so viewers had to watch things unfold from the same perspective as a family. That really vividly put me in the scene and made me curious as to how things were going to unfold. And lastly, I think it is always a pleasure to watch a comedy film that actually makes you laugh. And so the last one I'm going to be reviewing is called The Dude in Me, one of my favorite watches of 2023. I think I watched it 3 times. It was really good. It was written by Shin Han-sol, Cho Jung-hoon, Kang Hyo-jin, and it was also directed by Kang Hyo-jin. And it follows a middle-aged gangster and a high school student who end up switching bodies after an accident takes place. It is filled with action-packed scenes, numerous hilarious fun moments, and it has a really fun storyline. And honestly, the film is just altogether amazing. The actors portrayed their characters amazingly well, especially Jung Jin-young as the gangster Chang Pan-soo in Kim Dong-hyun's body, and also Park Sung-eun as Dong-hyun in Pan-soo's body. All in all, it was a very exciting film. It was very funny. I loved it, and I really do recommend you guys watch it. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, or reading. Please do check out my website. You can find the link in my Instagram bio at Assortive Creations on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening or reading or watching or listening, reading, and watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. And I'll see you next time with the next episode. Goodbye.